So what's up, man? How you been?
I'm pretty good. Not much. I just got done the police academy in December.
Nice. You're in the military, right?
I still am. I just hit
Oh, you
9 years
are.
in November.
Anyway, the whole purpose here is to just kind of help connect the dots. You come from a sibling perspective. You've
Hmm.
also done Concert for a Cure. That's actually the first time I got out and met other Sanfilippo people.
Hmm.
I think it's pretty cool that you guys still do it, you and your mom, that pay it forward
Yeah.
mentality about it. And
Yeah.
also, I think it's kind of cool that you're still connected with all these Sanfilippo kids. Like I've seen, you went to the MPS Society stuff. Hey, today I'm joined by Jeremy Mask, the brother of Ryan Mask, who passed away from Sanfilippo several years ago. First met Jeremy back probably 2019, shortly after my son Connor was diagnosed with Sanfilippo syndrome. He and his family throw a concert for the cure to raise money for MPS and Sanfilippo, and they continue to do that this day. He is based in Pennsylvania, which is how we got to know each other. So, anyway, Jeremy, tell me about yourself. We'll go from there.
Like you already introduced me, I'm Jeremy Mask. I live in Millersville, Pennsylvania. My brother Ryan had Sanfilippo 3A. He passed away in 2008, and it was actually 16 years ago on the 12th, so a few days ago. I'm the younger brother. He was diagnosed at 2. He's 5.5 years older than me. Me personally, I never saw him as different. I didn't really know much else because he was my only sibling, and I never saw him as different. I just saw him as my brother. I mean, yeah, sure, there was different things that he couldn't do as I got older and he got older and he started to regress, and I would see that he was wheelchair bound for pretty much everything. I mean, I was never there for you know I mean, well, I was, but I don't remember or recall like hearing him talk and all that. But the
Mhm.
stories I would hear from my mom and my dad, what he would say and all that, it was, it's kind of comical. I surrounded myself with a good group of people. Like, they never saw him as different. They saw him as I saw him, and it's just my brother. They didn't treat him any different. They gave him the love and compassion that you would hope that anybody would.
Yeah. Now, what's been your experience over the years connecting with other Sanfilippo families? I know your family has thrown a fundraiser. If you could talk a little about how you guys got started on that, and then just kind of what that connection means, staying connected to the Sanfilippo community, and your experience as a sibling.
Yeah, no, my mom started fundraising in 2001. She started doing fundraising walks and runs and did that for 10 years. She stopped shortly after Ryan passed away. She stopped in 2000. Yeah, we stopped in 2009. And no, so her first fundraiser she did was in 2000, and we stopped in 2009. And after that, I started to get older. I was 15 at the time and didn't want to not do anything for the foundation
Mhm.
just because my brother, got his cure. He's no longer with us doesn't mean I can't still help out in some way. So I started by doing between 2008 and 2011. I was doing little odds and end fundraisers. I even sold like little clay pins with little purple ribbon clay pins. Would make special ones for different families. Like, if there was families that lost a child to MPS, any of the forms of MPS, I would make that
Yeah.
for them and make quantities for them to give and sell and
Mhm.
raise funds and awareness for. Well, that specifically, I just went to Michael's craft store and bought clay, and I mean that all just eventually went to the MPS Society.
Mhm.
After doing that, I started to think I want to do more. I mean, yeah, every dollar counts. That's one thing my mom's always said, but I feel I can do a lot more than just making pins and selling pins.
Yeah.
So I got to think as like, what did my brother enjoy? I mean, yeah, sure, my mother did fundraising walks and runs, but me being young, I just thinking like my brother never could really walk or run. I don't want to try to do that again. But one thing that he enjoyed throughout his entire life, whether he was functioning or not functioning, he enjoyed music. That was the one thing that stuck with me and stuck out
Mhm.
throughout everything. So that's where that started. Is I was like, well, let's talk to the local restaurant manager who has open mic night, and they have different bands come in and play on certain nights of the week,
Mhm.
and we coordinated with her at the South Perk Hotel. And yeah, I think our first year we had 10 local bands that showed up. In the first few years, we ended up having about 10 to 12 local bands. But slowly over the years, we realized that's great and all, but we want to try to keep a larger crowd there longer. We shortened it to like 4 or 5 bands a day throughout the day, and we just got a lot more success from that.
Well, so this just becomes what, like an all-day concert?
Yeah,
And
yeah, it starts usually around like, well, I mean,
Mhm.
my day starts for the fundraiser. It starts at like 6 a.m. and goes till like 10 p.m. We usually have the concert kickoff at like 11, 12 o'clock, and then it goes to like
Mhm.
8, 8:30. But most
Yeah,
recently, it wasn't 4 years ago. It was more like 6 years ago. We did a motorcycle ride, like a progressive ride, where we have a bunch of guys with their bikes come out, or their
yeah,
passengers. They put in an entry to win some prizes at the end, ride a nice distance.
yeah,
So we've done that for yeah, 4 years we've done that. My quote unquote team is family. I mean, family at the end of the day is your best ally. It started small. It was my mom, my aunt, my cousin, me, my grandfather at the time, and it just started from there. And then over the years, you get friends throughout your life that they realize what you're doing, and they want to help, they want to lend a hand, and thank God for people like that.
yeah.
It's great when you get a good cause and a good charity, but starting a fundraiser, it's I don't know if I was blessed with just dealt the right cards, but it's fairly easy if you have the will and the want to do it. You want to find a meeting. The guy found mine was my brother enjoyed music.
It also leaves his legacy because it's inspired by his love for that. Do you mentor any siblings? Like, how does that work in the rare disease world that you're in there?
I would always go to conferences throughout the country, and I would have my clique. We would have our clique, of the siblings that we met throughout the years and through different conferences and whatnot. One thing that we noticed, us like we considered ourselves, the older kids whenever we went to. Well, as we progress, we consider ourselves the older kids, but we realized that these siblings, they find each other. It may be a whole different world for them, and they might be scared or lost and not know what to do, but the siblings really do just get each other. They find each other. And that was another thing, is like I noticed that in my clique, my sibling friend group, that we all had our own little things that we did. Like there was fundraisers that we did over the years. I've lost touch with a few of them, but I know there was one that had she organized a fundraising walk for her sibling. And then another one did a demolition derby. Her family did that. Just find like the little things, and I think we truly all understood what not just would bring the most awareness and the funds, but the most enjoyment out of not just you and your sibling, but the entire community around you.
Yeah, because you want to make it something that people want to come back to every year, and
Yeah.
it just kind of self-perpetuates. So you continue to go back to some of these events. What compels you to do that? Brother passed away a long time ago, but you're still so active. What is it that gives you that drive to keep showing up?
The last event I've been to, it was probably the conference right before 2020. It was right before COVID hit, and I don't want to blame COVID for my drop off the face of the earth in the MPS community, but I mean, whenever I would go, I really just enjoyed seeing the kids. Like the biggest thing I did when I went to the conferences is I just volunteered for as much time as I could in childcare, because that's when they could be themselves. They could be free, and not only is it, I understood, a blessing to you guys. You guys get a little break and you could go do what you guys wanted for
Yeah.
for the time being. But I also filled that selfish void of myself as not having my brother, and I could
Mhm.
see him in all the other kids and be able to interact with them as an older adult
Yeah.
now and still get to experience that. Something from the police academy is being involved in the community, not just being involved, but being able to bring communities together. Anywhere you go, there might be some sort of, clash between different groups or communities, but be that advocate for not just your community, but for other communities to come together and raise funds, raise awareness, just raise friendships. It's probably one of the most important things to me. And one of the greatest things I've learned is to work with your community and find your community. Just plug my mom, her famous saying, one more dollar, one more person is one more step closer to finding a cure.
Thanks for participating, and
Hey, thanks
hopefully
for having
going
me.
forward, man, if you want to be kind of more part of something bigger, even like helping on the sibling side, I think that'd be great. Like,
Yeah, definitely keep me in the loop. I'd definitely be interested.
awesome, man. I'll be in touch soon.
All right, thank you. Take
Thanks,
care.
buddy. You too.